Welcome back to the Graham Stephan Show, and unfortunately it happened. We're getting old, okay? So when you go to this channel, you can sort by oldest when you go to videos, and you'll see that these videos are now approaching almost 5 years old. It's crazy to think that I've been doing YouTube now for almost 7 years, and in that time, it's become apparent that I'm just becoming like the grandpa of the room. I go to all these YouTube events, influencer things, and like I'm one of the oldest ones there. I'm 33, and as proof of that, we got this episode here. When I started doing this back in my day, it was called Millennial Money. It was basically this show CNBC Make It would put it on where they followed the lives of millennials who are graduating from college, getting their bearings on life, making money, and spending it, blowing it, making disastrous financial decisions. And I would come in there and just share my thoughts and tell people that they're spending too much money, give them advice to make coffee at home, not spend it. Don't be stupid, basically, was my whole thing. And now, it's become apparent that I'm too old because now they got Z money. It's instead of millennials now running the game, they're having kids, they're having families and buying houses and crap, and now we got Z money, okay? We got this episode here, it's first of its kind, it's titled, Googler Living on $194K in Orange County, California. So Z monies are making more money than the millennials now. I think it just skipped a generation. Like, you know, the Generation X, like, did fairly well. Millennials kind of got screwed on a whole bunch of fronts. Gen Z now live balling it up, 200 grand a year. So with that said, you guys, I want to share my thoughts on this as soon as you hit the like button and subscribe. That's all. Thank you so much, and now let's begin.
I try to live as frugally as possible without compromising the quality of my life. My parents always really pushed me towards education as well as taught me about investing at a very young age, and I think this is what really pushed me towards trying to achieve financial freedom as soon as possible.
Yeah, so essentially this kid's perfect. He probably graduated at the top of his class. He's a computer genius. He's working at Google, one of the most fantastic companies out there. I actually had the privilege, by the way, of touring one of the Google headquarters in London. Oh my gosh, this place is like the dream to work at. Every level had like kitchens in it, stocked full with food. They had a full like free coffee bar with a barista just making you whatever drinks you want. The fitness center was nicer than Equinox, with the view of the entire city. They had sleeping and nap pods, so if like in the middle of the day you're tired, you take a nap. It's like you never want to leave. It was one of the most incredible offices I've ever seen in my entire life. And if Google ever wants to hire me at some point, like I would say yes. I love it so much. In fact, I think they should have an office in Las Vegas. That would be cool. So this kid is living it up. I'm curious how, he's 22 years old. Jeez. 22 making 200 grand a year. All this kid has to do is not screw it up. That's it. If he could just continue on this trajectory, live frugally, hunker down for 15 years, he'll be set for life.
My name is Ethan Lindley. I'm 22 years old. I make around $194,000 per year as a software engineer at Google, living in Orange County, California.
Yeah, see, those are the backflips I would be doing if I were 22 getting a job at Google making $200,000 a year. Everyone would be doing backflips like that. Jeez, that goes to show you how excited he is about life. Oh, yeah. Okay, so he also comes from a great family where they teach him good financial values. Investing young. Don't waste your money. Work hard for things. Be good at things. If you put your name on something, you know, at least go in with that with some pride. He's doing all those things. And obviously, he's gifted all the way around. I can't see anything negative here.
I was probably one of the only people I knew who was interested in stocks and stuff like this at my age.
Oh, look at that. 2 homes and $115,000. Look, Gen Z, man, crushing it. All that TikTok money and internet money, they're smart about it. They started watching YouTube early on about, you know, saving money. And they watched Dave Ramsey, don't go into crazy student loan debt. This kid did everything correctly. And the fact that he has 2 homes and over $115,000 invested at 22, he'll be a millionaire by 30. Like, practically guaranteed, as long as he just doesn't make some bad decisions. That's it.
I was not really able to enjoy any of that traditional undergraduate experience. All in all, though, I would say that it was definitely worth it, as it was able to put my financial goals ahead and really get me started on a journey towards financial independence.
Good. Listen, I hate to say it, okay? Unpopular opinion, the 20s are overrated. Overrated. The only difference between me and my abilities at 20 was one, not getting a hangover. Get hangovers now if I drink. That's why I stopped drinking. I get tired a little early. Okay, fine. And you just put up with less crap. That's it. That's the only difference. Like if I wanted to live it up as though I were 24 years old and do the college thing, yeah, you could do it. You don't be that weird old guy. But like physically, you could still go and do all those things. If I want to go out to a club, I do. But there's no desire. Not to say I had the desire anyway, like, in my 20s. But I just think all this, like, oh, you gotta live it up when you're young. No, you don't. You're young through the age of 40. You could live just as nicely at 35 as you can 25. Except the difference at 35, if you hunker down and work really hard, you'll have the money to spend. You could actually enjoy it without having to worry about sacrificing your future. Because you already put in the work ahead of time. That's insane how quickly he was able to breeze through school. How is he able to do that? Why does it take some people 4 years? Well, my guess is he got a lot of his general education requirements out of the way in high school, so that by the time he was able to go to Berkeley, he was like, okay, I just get my 2 years of like actual college done with. Graduated at 19, he's probably started school maybe a year on the early side. So, he's not older than all the other kids. Breeze through that, could go back into school for even more. I mean, he definitely planned this out with a lot of intention behind it.
I wanted to be able to really maximize my education and do the most that I could with my life. So I ended up doing my master's degree at Berkeley as well. And I did this in 1 year while working full-time as a software engineer at Google.
How do you do that? Jeez, what can this guy not do? He's doing everything. I swear, you know what? He's somehow found a time machine, or he's cloned himself. And there's two of him out there. Just like one's studying, one's working full-time. That's what he's done.
When I moved away from startup work into working at big tech, I felt like there was a lot more organization and a lot more structure. And additionally, the work-life balance was significantly better. I'd say the biggest perks I love about Google is that there's free lunch.
You know what's funny? That was the big takeaway for me too, is just the food. The food options, the free food options at Google. Everywhere you turn. You can't walk 50 feet without there being a cafeteria or a big refrigerator with food in it, drinks, whatever you want, they're there. I'd say that's a big reason why people stay places, food. Invite me somewhere, my one question, is there food? Is there food there? What type of food? And that's gonna dictate how long I'm gonna be there. If there's great food, hors d'oeuvres, and they make you wait for it, I'll stay longer. They're bringing out, if it's just like, a pizza platter, okay, grab a few slices and leave. But Google, they know they ain't got the good stuff, and they just want you to stay.
Any personal development courses you take, non-related to your job, can be reimbursed up to 1/3 of the cost. And so I use these to reimburse the cost of my ping pong lessons and my language learning lessons.
See, I'd be taking drum lessons and just billing Google for that. Google, if you want to pay for drum and piano lessons, please do. I would love that. Setting up the aquarium, that's a personal development thing. Get good at setting up saltwater aquariums. Hey, reimburse that. I would love that.
I do budget to an extent where I have an idea of how much money I should be spending on each category per month. However, I don't set a strict numerical number, but instead I just make sure that I am being reasonable with my purchases, and this has worked very well for me.
Yeah, look at that. Housing utilities, $6,740 a month. Primary residence and a rental property. Okay, but he's got rental income coming in on top of that. So that number is kind of misleading because he might pay, let's just say $3,000 on a mortgage, but make $5,000 back. Okay, so that number is a bit skewed. Debt repayment, $1,000, fine. Transportation, $649. That's decent, Orange County. Savings investments, $442. I bet that could be upped. $363 a month on food because he's eating for free at Google. So that right off the bat, they're subsidizing him a lot on that. Subscriptions, $290, including tennis lessons, which get reimbursed in pet. He's making so much money, it doesn't matter. And a lot of these, just gonna get reimbursed back anyway, or he's making more money.
For transportation, I do drive an electric car, so this saves me a lot of money on gas. However, my electric bill is a little bit high because I charge my car at home. For the last month, my electricity bill was close to $200.
That's nothing for charging a Tesla. I'm surprised you can't just charge it at Google. You can do everything at Google. Just plug it into Google, and then you get free electricity.
I do save and invest money each month. I would say a little bit over $1,000 into non-retirement accounts. And then into retirement accounts, I would say an average of $1,800 per month is invested from my paychecks.
Credit card debt. Why do you need a credit card debt? My guess is he just puts his expenses on the credit card, then pays it off. I hope that's the case. This guy's too smart for credit card debt.
I actually keep very little liquid cash on hand. It's losing its value over time at an alarmingly fast rate. So accordingly, I like to put my money into investments that can grow over time and exceed the pace of inflation.
You can also put his money into getting 2 free stocks down below in the description when you make any deposit, because those stocks could be worth all the way up to a few $1,000. I got a paid affiliate link down below in the description if you guys are interested. More details down below. But yeah, there you go. You guys get some free stocks now with that paid affiliate link.
As my net worth and investment portfolio has grown, my risk tolerance has definitely decreased quite a lot. I invest fairly cautiously now. I invest mainly in ETFs and real estate, and these have worked very well for me over the past couple years.
Good. Here's the thing though. In the beginning, you're focused on growth. When you have a certain amount of money, then you focus on conservation. You focus on not screwing things up. So you want to be a little bit more conservative. After all, if you have, let's say, $5 million, you don't want to say, oh, let's YOLO that into Dogecoin. I don't know, Dogecoin. I said that because he has a dog on the screen. But when you have no money, it becomes more appealing to take the risk. I tend to think that, a middle ground approach, just index funds, tends to be the best, consistent long term. That's generally what I do.
I own 2 properties, one investment property that I have in Florida and my current primary residence that I live in right now.
Tough times to buy. I'm curious what his interest rate is in 2023, unless he bought it at the beginning of the year, which I hope he did. I hope he locked in an interest rate at under 5.5%. I'm guessing he did because he seems like a really smart guy. But yeah, locking in interest rates today at like 7%, it's just... renting tends to be cheaper.
I saved up to buy my first home by living with my parents and living very frugally. I was able to save about 95% of my income by not doing many expensive activities and just really staying at home, even though I was making a 6-figure salary.
He's also saving money on furniture. Look at that bedroom. Gosh, that is like the most basic Facebook marketplace furnishings I have ever seen in my entire life, with nothing underneath. It's just the frame itself and a nightstand that looks like, again, like a Craigslist find. You don't need more than that.
My current goal is to retire at 35 years old. This may seem like a very young age for a lot of people, and it is, but for myself, I really want to have more time freedom and the ability to pursue the passions and hobbies that I really want to do with my life.
I guarantee by the time he gets to 35, he'll want to keep going. This guy's too bright to sit around and not do much. He's got to either work on his own passion project, something really important to him, something he can be actively involved in. His mind is racing. I thought the same thing. I was like, I want to be retired by 30. And then you get to it and you're like, why? To what? I'd be bored out of my mind. I get so sad if I'm not working on something. Like if I wake up and I have nothing to do, I genuinely get sad. I get very tired. I feel like moping around the house. I feel unmotivated. Versus if I have something to do, if I'm working on something I'm excited with, I have more energy. I'm more happy. I want to go and do things. I want to push myself. So it's just like, you know what? I feel like just retiring and doing nothing sounds miserable unless you're retiring to something. Unless you're like, okay, now I could go and work on this over here that I didn't have time for. But for a lot of people, I believe that keeping themselves busy and working is so important. Yeah, here's the thing too, 100 grand a year, he's not gonna be able to do that with like a family. If he wants a family and like 2 kids in Orange County, you're looking at like 150 to 180 to support that sort of lifestyle. And taxes are gonna take a huge chunk of that too. Thank California for that. So I think he's gonna need more like $8 to $9 million if he wants to support a family, assuming he's not making any more money, which realistically, he's gonna make more money.
I plan to keep buying up rental properties with the goal of buying 1 property every 1 to 2 years, as well as continually contributing to my investments, both my retirement accounts and my regular brokerage accounts.
Yeah, the other thing too, he's gonna make more money at Google. So my guess is like every year he's gonna make like 5% more. If Google stock goes up, his compensation is also going to be going up. To me, it seems like he's calculated the whole thing. It's like, oh, if I make this amount and my investments return 7%, I'll have $5 million up. Which, it seems like all of this is well calculated. I have no doubt he's going to reach it.
I would still say that there are a lot of goals for me to keep going towards. And so my motto is, even though I'm successful now, there's always more for me to shoot for. And I'm always going to keep setting new goals until I'm able to achieve those. And once I achieve those, I'll set some more.
You know what? My one piece of advice with him, I would say the one thing that he could be doing is find a good activity sport and just dive into that. I think, You know, looking back, if I were more active in my 20s, hit the gym a little bit more, and like I did all those things. But I think for him at this point, he's got everything else. I think health is something he's really got to prioritize. Eating well, going to the gym on a regular basis, being very disciplined with like a sport or an activity that he could get into, like running, cycling, swimming, something like that. That's it. Otherwise, this guy is set. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, comment your own thoughts down below for the YouTube algorithm. And with that said, until next time.